part 2. Don't fall. I'm sorry. Hi everyone, welcome to part 2 of this big huge haul. If I lose my self-control, there might be part 3. We're gonna go through the rest of the books that I got from the book fair. My Colleen Hoover and my mystery/thriller pile was in part 1 of this video. This part will have different ones. I want you to see the video. I'm not gonna spoil it. Let's start. I have not read a fantasy book. Well, okay, that's not completely true. Actually, years ago, I read one book, which was supposed to be like the adaptation of The Sleeping Beauty, which as a kid, I loved that animation. I still do. But I didn't enjoy the book. It was very predictable, very boring. So I DNF'd it. But everyone on social media is talking about fantasy, all these books and series, and I was just like, all right, that's it. I give up. I want to feel included. I picked this one up, Six of Crows. Leigh Bardugo. I'm gonna try to learn to pronounce everyone's names for my next video. This was one of the books that was recommended to someone who's a beginner to the fantasy world. What is that? Another airplane? Are you back for me? Those kids, they're really screaming. Six of Crows, the blurb was that you've got this group of 6 individuals and they have this person, the leader of the group, all 6 on this huge heist to steal something for the leader, and if they do, they are going to get a lot of money in return and they're set for life. In my head, I was like, maybe each one of those 6 individuals has like their own talent and stuff, and that really intrigued me and I wanted to pick it up as my first fantasy book. I know that this is followed by another book, I think it's a duology, right? Called The Crooked Kingdom. Crooked Kingdom, sorry. Next, the Atlas 6, and then followed by the Atlas Paradox, so it's a duology. The reason I picked these up is not because they're fantasy. I picked them up because I am just obsessed with Olivia Blake's style of writing, because I read Alone with You in the Ether, even though I know they're like completely different, because that one was like this deep philosophical romance and I enjoyed every second. It's easily one of my top books for 2022. These are very different and they're fantasy, so I don't really know anything about this one because again I was like, maybe it will provide spoilers for this one. There's this secret society in the world called the Alexandrian Society, and every decade there is this competition for 6 of the best magicians to be chosen, and the chosen ones are going to secure a life of prestige and power within the society, but of course there is a cost. So the story picks up from there. Now on to one of my favorite in movies, in books, and that is my lovely rom-coms. Not all of this is rom-com actually, like I have rom-com/romance. We've got Better Than the Movies because I've seen this everywhere, okay? And then the first thing that I read about it is that this is a rom-com about rom-coms, and that made total sense when I read the back of the book, because literally you have Bridget Jones and Mark Darcy in this heart, and then you've got Harry and Sally, which is one of my favorite rom-coms ever. What I know from this is that you've got a teenager, so this is young fiction, who's a hopeless romantic, and she's building up this happily forever after in her head with her crush, but she asks for her neighbor's son to help her get his attention, like the other guy's attention, and it's a given what happens, but I'm still so excited to read it. This one, here's the thing, if you're going to put the word book in the title, I am going to get it. A book for book lovers about this female character, and she's just done with her job because she's underpaid, she's exhausted, and that used to be her dream job, but maybe it's not worth it anymore, and maybe she should find her own happy ending. Then third one, Mad About You by Mad About You. I read the blurb, Grumpy Sunshine, but here's the catch. This time, finally, the girl is the grumpy and the guy is the sunshine. So basically you have this girl who doesn't believe in marriage, and she actually just broke off her engagement to her perfect guy. And she moves into this building where this guy also lives. I think he's like a neighbor. and he's a hopeless romantic. Tell me you don't want to read that. Tell me you don't want to read that. Next, that cover, that color palette. Why is it so beautiful? One is alternative timeline between then and now. You've got this journalist who writes a profile about this huge movie star. They spend 2 days together and then that's it. They go separate paths. 10 years later, there's a reunion. I'm not sure if this is a romance or a rom-com. I'll let you know when I read it. Next up, the very famous Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've read The Unhoneymooners by them and I really enjoyed it. This and my final one are going to be romances, not rom-coms. Didn't read much about this one, to be perfectly honest, and I was not planning on buying it, but I've heard great things about it. I already enjoyed the last book by them and I wanted to get it basically, but I know that it's a second chance romance in 5 years. So there's this one guy on Goodreads that I follow. He writes down the funniest book reviews. He's not always very nice, I'm not gonna lie, and we don't always see eye to eye, but he writes down the funniest reviews and he literally gives 1 star to everything. So when I saw him give this a 5 star, I was like, I want this. This one is about this woman who's a perfectionist. She plans everything. She's this high-profile lawyer. She gets engaged to her long-time boyfriend. Everything is just going perfect according to her plan. And then suddenly she wakes up and she's at a different time in a different apartment under different circumstances. So yes, this book is romance / time travel. Listen, I'm gonna tell you why I followed that pile with this, because as you know, Song of Achilles and Circe are considered romance as well, but they're also considered historical fiction. So this is kind of like my historical fiction pile, okay? Everyone that I know just loved these books so much. I rarely ever see like negative reviews on them. It's recommended for best reading experience to read Song of Achilles first and then Circe, both of them by Madeline Miller. I know how to pronounce that one. I know that they are both heartbreaking, heart-wrenching kind of romances, both based on Greek mythology. Really excited because I love romance, I love a good heartbreak, and I love Greek mythology. I'm always intrigued by it. At the same time, I have heard that Madeline Miller has this beautiful, deep, poetic, artistic writing style, and that's my favorite. Finally, I got this. Already read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I really enjoyed. Malibu Rising, which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy that one as much. The story follows this band, Daisy Jones and the Six, from the 1970s in LA, when the band first starts out, and then their life, their tours, how they get on. We're on to the very last pile, and this is the social media made me buy it pile, because I literally picked these ones up not knowing much about them. My year of rest and relaxation. I've seen this everywhere. You've got this woman who wants to sleep for 1 whole year. She does this because I think she's so fed up and so tired from the world. So this is very much mental health based and psychological fiction, I think, by the same author. There's also a novel pretty much the same type of theme. It's psychological fiction, I think, and mental health based. Also historical fiction and magical realism. I don't know much about this one, but I think there is this boy who is abused living in this medieval village and his mother has died. Next, again based on the whole mental health psychological fiction thing, I have this one, I Want to Die But I Want to Eat. Tteokbokki. Let me see what tteokbokki is. I don't know. This is what... Can you see it? This small dialogue between the psychiatrist and the main character. Psychiatrist, so how can I help you? Me? I don't know. What's the word? Depressed? Do I have to go into detail? Then I looked at the inside and I could see that this is literally one long conversation between the psychiatrist and the main character. Literally, it's all dialogue. It says psychiatrist talk, me talk. So it's one long conversation, this book. I don't know how I feel about that. The only thing that makes me want to pick this up is because it's mental health based. I don't know, maybe it's gonna be a hit. Next, I'm freaked out by this book. When I think about it and when I look at it, I get goosebumps and I kind of want, like, I have this urge to just push it away a little bit, because I know this is about a woman who is a food writer in jail right now because she is a serial killer who has killed a lot of men, and she essentially writes about the food she used to eat, including the men. What made me buy this? I don't know, because I'm literally scared. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna move on to the very final book in this pile, and in this book haul, again, another one that I've seen everywhere is Cleopatra and Frankenstein. This girl, she's 24. She escaped from England to New York to find herself. She's a painter. Then she meets this man who's 20 years older than she is, very successful and has everything: adult fiction, psychology and mental health base, and romance. This could be a really good thumbnail, right? My face cannot be so happy next to these books because they seem so sad, literally. With that, we're done with this haul and with part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comment, just like part 1, which books did you get from the Slimani Book Fair, or which books are you planning to get, or are you planning to get any books that you found interesting from this video. Until next time, have fun, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye!